Hi guys, it's Cam here. Who's Cam? Who is that? And welcome back to another episode of Roleplay How To, the 101 guide series aimed to help you get started on your very own Minecraft roleplay. Today we'll be covering cinematics, and I'll be going into a very in-depth guide on how we utilize our camera mods to create, some really pretty cinematics, very captivating. First, I'll be going through a short demonstration of the controls, followed by some cinematic ideas for recording buildings and then recording characters. The timestamps are on the screen right now if there's certain segment you wish to skip to, but without further ado, let's kick it off with the controls. So before we get into any pretty camera techniques or any examples, we're just going to go through the controls to ease you into the mods. You can follow this tutorial with CMD cam and Bower cam. They work pretty much exactly the same, so that is what this tutorial is for. These mods will be linked in the description, but let's get onto it. So to decrease your FOV, you hold V and you can zoom in like that. On CMD cam, if you hold shift and V, you'll zoom in faster. And then to increase your FOV, press O and you're gonna zoom out, and FOV stands for field of view. And then if you're like, oh, I don't really like this is kind of ugly, you can reset it with the I key, and boom, now it is back to 70. You can also do some really cool stuff, like you can roll, okay, hear me out, you can roll clockwise, okay, and you can roll counterclockwise. That is with J to go clockwise and G to go counterclockwise, and then you can reset it with H. So boom, if you're walking around and you're like, wait, my screen is stuck like this is so ugly, I don't know what to do, you can just reset it with H and boom, so easy. And to create a camera point, of course, we have P. Now you can also type cam clear to clear your camera point. You can type cam stop to stop the camera, and cam start. Then if you're using CMD cam, you'd say cam start 60 seconds for a minute. If you are using Bower cam, then it would be /cam start 6000. Now you don't need the slash, you can have the slash, you don't need it. Bower cam she's kind of odd. She works in frames rather than seconds, which I don't really know why, but yeah, it's really easy to do. Now we've gotten used to the controls, let me show you a brief example of how you would use these in action. So if I'm gonna come over here and let's say I wanted to get a shot of Megan, who is all the way down there. So one way I could do this is, you could just set your camera points like 2, 1 and 2 and do /cam start. I'm gonna say 2000. As you can see, it's a bit boring. There's not really much going on. So now we're gonna put our other elements into play. So I've cleared my camera and I've stopped my camera. So I'm gonna zoom in with V, and we'll go like this. And maybe I'll go for a little clockwise roll with J here. I'm gonna go P, and then I'm gonna reset my roll, and I'm gonna zoom in even more. If I press P again, I've set my second camera point, and I'll do /cam start 1000 this time, and hide my HUD, and boom, now we've got our little zoomy in shot. And as you can see, the camera is rotating from clockwise back to its little 0 degrees, and boom, that's just so much more interesting, isn't it? For this segment, we are here in Metropolis's little estate, and I'm going to show you how I would record this house on the very corner. So there are multiple ways I would do this. So if I was doing an opening shot and the character was through that window upstairs, what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in. If you're on CMD cam, again, you can hold shift and V to zoom in even faster, but to make it quick, I'm just going to zoom in all the way, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. I'm going to move my camera into a slight low angle position, and then I'm going to press P here, and then I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to look ever so more straight dead into the window like that. And I don't know how fast this is going to be, so I'm going to start with 800. That's quite fast for an opening shot, but that is very nice. I do like fast shots, but the shot speed can also convey mood. So let's say this is a first day of school, characters waking up, that's the bedroom. So I'm going to do /cam start maybe 2000. Now as you can see, it's a lot slower. You get to see more of the whole house. You can sort of see the area in which the character lives for a bit more. You can get a lot from this. You can get maybe the character's background, as in wealth, and you know, you can see more of the character's room, you get to see more of the character's house, and you can put your nice little credits, your nice little logo up here. So that is how I would record the opening. Now I have like a little rule that I like to follow. If the scene is starting, I will zoom in, and if the scene is, you know, closing, coming to an end, I will zoom out. So let's say the last shot was in this house and now we are leaving the house. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look down here, or let's I'll go here and I'm gonna press P, and I'm gonna zoom out to here. And as you can see, now we've got a shot of the whole house / cam star. I'm gonna say 2000. Now, as you can see, we're zooming out. This is showing that we are leaving the house area, but it also makes it very clear what the set is by what you can see around. So that's just something I like to do. Not everyone has to do this, of course, because everyone records in their own ways. This is just how I like to do it. Another way I like to record buildings is from a low angle looking up. I don't really use the roll keys a lot when I'm filming buildings, but it really depends on the mood, because, you know, for something spooky like a creepy shot of a Halloween door, I would use the roll. But here I'm just using the zoom, keeping it nice and simple. So here we are, as you can see, we're going inwards. Very cute shot. This also shows the scene starting. Another way I like to record my buildings is by, let's zoom in to about here, and then I'm gonna, maybe a bit more, and I'm gonna go slightly down, and I'm gonna put one point down here, and I'm gonna put my other point around here, and if I do /cam start 2000, as you can see, now we've got a nice shot rotating around the house, and you can see a bit more of it. You can see the background, and this is just something I really like. It really adds some variation in between a lot of those zoomy shots, just to really add some spice. And this brings me to my next point: film through foliage. Filming through foliage is like the cutest thing ever. So I'm gonna zoom in, I'm gonna do P, and I'm gonna go P again. I love filming through foliage, and if I do /cam start, now you can see we're coming up from the bushes behind. It kind of reveals the building in front, and I just love this so much. I think it's such a fun way to like show the buildings. And I know it sounds really boring, I'm saying like recording buildings is fun, but I think recording buildings is fun. Even the most boring buildings, you can make them look so interesting by the shot type that you use. But that is how I like to do it, and now we've learned a little bit more about shot types. Let's move on to characters. Yay! Now we're moving on to what is arguably the most important part of recording cinematics. We are going to be recording characters. Now, I say that this is so important because when a character is talking, you want it to be very clear that you can see their face. Something I see a lot in roleplays, and it's not necessarily a problem, it's just something I wouldn't do, is a character is talking but you cannot see their face. And obviously that's not to say like if a character is talking you can't be facing behind them, but I think it's very important to change your camera angle to be very dynamic. So if there's 4 characters talking at once but the camera is stationary like this the whole time, then you don't really get to see any emotion. I just think the angle helps to convey specific emotions and show the atmosphere as well. So with that out of the way, I'm going to show you some of my favorite camera angles for recording people. I have Megan over here helping me. Hello, hey girl. And basically when I say go, she's just gonna walk, and I'm gonna show you how I would record. So the very first one is high angle. So I'm just gonna go up here and I'm gonna press P, and I'm gonna go down and press P here. Now this is a shot that I used to do a lot in my roleplays. I don't do it so much now, but that's probably just because the tone of 𝑍𝑉𝑘𝑠, you always want to see the character's face because you never know who to trust, you never know who's thinking what. But this is a very good one. It's zoomed out so you can see a lot of what's going on around, but also the character, who is the main focal point. Now before I actually start the cinematic, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into /GameModeSpectator, and that just makes it so you can't see that really annoying shadow on the floor in the corner of your cinematics. So now if I do /cam start 2000, Megan, you may go. As you can see, the set behind is very visible, and Megan, the focal point, you can still see her very clearly. She's in the center of the screen, so you know who you're supposed to be looking at. And that is the first one out of the way. Now I've started in Spectator for this one because I just think it's easier to record in Spectator, because then you can go through like blocks and all sorts of stuff like that. So I'm gonna zoom in for this one. I do like a good zoomed shot. I do like a nice zoomed shot. Yes, I do. So with V, I zoomed in, and I'm gonna press P, and then I'm gonna go forwards, and I'm gonna press P again. And how fast is this? that is a little bit fast. So I'm gonna do 2000. That's perfect. So Megan, could you go please? As you can see, this one's a lot nicer. I prefer this one. This is one I would definitely use more often. It's very zoomed in. You can see the emotion on the character's face, and you can also see the character as well as a little bit of what's going on. For the next camera angle, what we're going to do is we're actually going to it's not really tracking shot, but we're going to zoom into where Megan would be walking, so it looks like she is walking to the camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to zoom in, and nice and zoomed, I am at 18 if anyone would like that as a reference, and I'm going to press P, and then I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to press P again, and let's see how fast this is. So my default is always 2000. Is that good? Or 20 seconds if you're on CMD cam. I'll say that's a little bit fast for what we're doing, so 2300. Now as you can see, now Megan is walking closer to the camera, and she's going to walk through the camera. What I would do here is cut, because obviously you don't want to see her clipping straight through the camera, but that's another nice one. It sort of aligns the audience with the character. The next angle I'm going to do is a low angle. So as you can see by now, I like to zoom in on my characters a lot. This is just so you can see a lot of what's going on their face, and also because if the audience don't really know your characters too well, so for example, like if it's in episode 1, they won't know who's walking or like who's in shot, and you just want it to be very obvious who is doing what, if it's relevant to the story or anything like that. So now I'm at my little low angle. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit more, and I'm gonna look up like that, maybe a bit more zoomed. And if I press P now, and then if I go over to the door, and if I go up towards the face, now what does that look like at /camstart 4000? Now as you can see, you can clearly see everything that's going on. Very cute character, but my only drawback to this is that it is a very quick shot. So if you're maybe having a more relaxed scene, I wouldn't use this one, because fast-paced cutting can show signs of like urgency. So if a character is talking to one, for example, so Megan, could you do some head bobbing, please? Thank you. If the character talking is shorter than the character they're talking to, I'll do a slightly low angle, and it'll be very zoomed in. I can either go here, or I can go here to like a bust. And it doesn't really matter if the camera is in the middle of any movements when you're doing this, because I know some people just like to have the camera stationary, and it does not really make a difference. I like to have it move, so what we're going to do is we're going to do P, and I'm not going to move the camera upwards this time. I think when a character is talking, it's best just to be focusing on their body, that way the camera moves forwards. And I'm going to do /camstart 3000, and as you can see, now we've got a nice shot of Megan talking, and it's a slight low angle, so it's almost like she's looking up. So guys, that brings us to the end of this episode of Roleplay How To. Hopefully now you are all cinematic geniuses, but if there is anything else you need help with, you can either leave a comment down underneath this video or join the Discord, which is linked in every one of our videos, and ask the question there. We will be happy to assist you with your camera mod needs. Again, the mods we covered, CMD cam and Bower cam, are linked in the description of this video, so make sure to check that out, and we'll see you guys in another episode. Goodbye!